Slughterhouse-Five project by Jessica Blackney, Elizabeth Kuman, Faith Nazaloom, and Evan Vorak. Mustard gas and roses is a strange description for anything. However, the acclaimed novel Slughterhouse-Five shows how mustard gas, which represents the sour taste of war, and roses, which represents love, are inherently entwined in the horrific but true story of war. In this novel, a fictional character named Billy Pilgrim navigates this uncertain world. Interestingly, the author, Kurt Vonnegut, uses many of his own experiences to describe Billy's life in the war, connecting both him and the fictional character. In Kurt Vonnegut's science fiction novel Slughterhouse-Five, the symbolic phrase mustard gas and roses is used to represent the relation between love and war that both Vonnegut and Billy Pilgrim share. One instance where Vonnegut uses the phrase mustard gas and roses is to describe the unpleasant scent of his breath. He knows that whenever he drinks alcohol, his breath emits a foul stench, saying, "I have this disease late at night sometimes, involving alcohol and the telephone. I get drunk and I drive my wife away with a breath like mustard gas and roses." After the long war, Kurt's mentality is affected by the horrific battles and actions that he had witnessed. His wife recognizes that he drinks because of his PTSD, and knows that his feelings are influenced by this. The scent of roses is a symbol to show Vonnegut's wife that he still loves her, and that maybe he is not as emotionally torn as it appears. However, the mustard gas symbolizes that something is immensely wrong with Vonnegut. The atrocious aroma appalls Vonnegut's wife because she knows that nothing good can come from the scent of alcohol. Despite the beautiful scent of roses, it is concealed by the sour smell of mustard gas. This analogy symbolizes how their love is overshadowed by the inevitable destruction of war. A following instance in which Vonnegut utilizes the phrase mustard gas and roses is in his late-night encounter with his dog Sandy. After draining a few more glasses of alcohol than necessary, Vonnegut has nobody left to talk to, for his wife abandoned him in the living room when she whiffed his noxious breath. After glazing into an alcoholic haze, Sandy is the only one remaining for Vonnegut to talk to. He recalls, "And I let the dog out, or I let him in, and we talk some. I let him know I like him, and he lets me know he likes me. He doesn't mind the smell of mustard gas and roses." Vonnegut's wife abandoning him to wallow in his alcoholic state results in the genial conversation between him and Sandy. Sandy, being a dog not a human, doesn't mind the smell of mustard gas and roses and Vonnegut's drunken breath. As evidently illustrated in this example, the stench of mustard gas and roses is summoned from gruesome effects of war and eventually evolves into an interaction of true love. A final instance where Vonnegut uses the phrase mustard gas and roses is when he is describing the conditions in the corpse mines after World War II. Referring to Billy's experience working in the grueling mines, he says, "There were hundreds of corpse mines operating by and by. They didn't smell bad at first, were wax museums. But then the bodies rotted and liquefied, and the stink was like mustard gas and roses." In using this phrase, Vonnegut intends to provide the reader with a detailed description of how the horrific corpse aroma after rotting underground for 2 days after the Dresden bombing smelled. The scent of roses perhaps refers to when mournful friends and family lay roses on a loved one's coffin during a funeral. Like them, the forlorn soldiers had to witness the sorrowful disposal of innocent corpses, explaining how the aroma of roses would displace itself. Additionally, the scent of mustard gas possibly concerns the horrendous memories the soldiers have of Dresden, along with the general consequences of war. Providing two unlikely objects, roses and mustard gas, into one phrase is an insight into Kurt and Billy's struggle between love and war. Evidently, Vonnegut uses the phrase to exemplify how both he and Billy, although a fictional character, have to cope with their past and its crippling effects on their present. Vonnegut's emotions revolving around love often result from his experiences in the war. More specifically, his haunting recollections of World War II disturb the advancement of his current life, influencing not only himself but those observing his behavior. This phrase is utilized in multiple events, including encounters between Vonnegut and his wife, Vonnegut and his dog, and the concluding interaction between Billy and Vonnegut following the bombing of Dresden. Throughout the novel, Vonnegut's use of the phrase mustard gas and roses provides an insightful representation of the battle between war and love embedded in the lives of both Vonnegut and his fictional character Billy Pilgrim. The struggle that is consistently mentioned throughout the novel demonstrates that even the most terrifying events can result in love and affection. The war had primarily negative effects on Vonnegut and Billy's lives. However, it resulted in stronger bonds between numerous characters. Sometimes life may seem like an endless tunnel, but with every tunnel there is a light at the other end.